Greatest Hits 98.1, and we just love to talk to TV stars and beyond whenever we get a chance to do that. And this isn't just any girl, this is that girl. We're talking with Marlo Thomas here, which this is truly a pleasure. I'm going to start there, and then we're going to get into a ton of other things here. But, when that girl first came along, did you think it would be all that, or was it just kind of another gig for you?
Oh, no, it was a dream come true. I was doing something that I had dreamt about, playing a girl like myself who was battling, the stereotype of a girl had to get married right out of college or right out of high school, and she had to live with her parents until the last minute and all that, and the idea of having a career of your own that was important, all of that was a struggle at that time. And so to be able to portray that person, that girl, was really a dream, and I was very excited about it. And it was a hit the very first night. It just blew away all the competition because every home in America had that girl in it they had a dream and wanted to be somebody, didn't want to get married right away, wanted to go to the big city and see who she was. It was a dream come true for me, and I think it was a dream that the girls in America had. That's why it was, we touched that nerve. It was quite a thrill.
Yeah, it's a thrill. It's a thrill sometimes just to hear you say Donald. Anytime you do the Donald thing, it's like it brings back so many great memories of, and what a great chemistry that you and Ted Bessel had in that show and putting all that on.
He was wonderful.
I'm gonna vary a little bit from that because this is something I heard around with Marlo Thomas here on Greatest Hits 98.1, and I have heard this, that if you get invited to a Marlo Thomas Phil Donahue dinner party, you'll never forget it. Tell us why.
Well, I have collected things from all over the world. Phil and I have gone to Italy and France and Kyoto, Japan, and London, and everywhere we go, I buy things for the table. I'll buy a wine cooler or some napkins or some china, little appetizer plates. Anyway, I do that all, and my dinner table, my cocktail table looks so inviting. People just can't wait to get into it. And so Laura Alber, the CEO of Williams-Sonoma, was at our apartment for a St. Jude cocktail party, and she said, "Oh my God, I love all these things. Where are they from?" And I was telling her. She said, "Oh, do a collection with us. I've never seen anything like this." So I said, "Great." And I told her, I said, the one thing I can't find and I would love to make is a cheese board where you can cut the cheese on it, also have a space for grapes, and little sections for crackers or bread or olives or something, so I don't have to schlep out 4 or 5 plates for each thing.
Uh-huh.
She said, "Great, you draw it, we'll make it." So we did. I drew it, and they made it, and I just love it. And if you go to the website today, Williams-Sonoma Pottery Barn website, it'll come up, and you'll see all the things that we made. And they're all from my house. My sister called me, she said, "This looks like your house." And it really does. It's just fabulous stuff.
Did I hear that
I hope everybody enjoys it.
Yeah.
And if you have a Super Bowl party or Valentine's Day, the wine cooler is so pretty. It's wood and silver. And I bought it for my brother and other men in my life as their Valentine gift. It's so pretty. And it's really hefty, it's not little flimsy things. It's got some heft to it. I think men and women will like it who like to entertain or put up a bar or have condiments or have dips and chips. There's something for the dips, for 3 dips. I love things where there's a combination. You can put 3 dips in this. You can put cheese and crackers and grapes on this, so you don't have to keep schlepping all these plates out to your cocktail table.
Yeah, well, that's so true. That's so true. It's efficient, convenient, and it's fine, entertaining, and people enjoy that sort of thing. I understand that you and husband Phil are going to do a podcast. Is that right?
Yeah, we're so excited. It's March 8th. It's called Double Date, and it's us talking to other married couples about how do you keep it together, especially during this pandemic. But how do you do it? What makes it last, and how do you fight, and how do you spend money? And we talk about everything. Infidelity. What's her name? Kira Sedgwick.
Oh, yeah.
And Kevin Bacon. They lost all their money to Bernie Madoff. And how do you come back from that? and everything. And Michael J. Fox, and how do you deal with a diagnosis like a lifetime diagnosis like that? So it was very, very interesting, very exciting to talk to all these people, and we learned a lot about our marriage and these marriages. And everybody that we interviewed was married at least 20 years. I think people will love it. It's funny, it's sexy, and it's poignant. It's everything that marriage is. Yeah, I think if you're not married, you should listen to it. And if you are married, you'll get some good tips.
This sounds like right up my alley. Me and Mrs. Murph, it's been 35 years, so it sounds perfect for all those kinds of things of how do you stay together and.
We should have interviewed you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, maybe it's
5 years. That's a lot.
Maybe at some
Good
point.
for you.
Marlo Thomas is with us here on Greatest Hits 98.1, and just having a delight talking with you, Marlo. And this next part might get just a touch emotional, and it's intended to do exactly that. Because I'm going to let you do this, because brag, if you can, just a little bit about your dad, an amazing man with comedy and production, but then what he did with and has done, and you've carried on the tradition with St. Jude's, just amazing.
Thank you. No, I'm always happy to talk about my father. He was a wonderful daddy, and he was a wonderful man, and he really cared about kids. And he grew up in an immigrant neighborhood that was very poor, so he saw children in his neighborhood die of things like influenza and appendicitis, which is crazy. You don't have to die from things like that, but their parents couldn't afford to go to a doctor, so he vowed that he would build a hospital someday for very sick children where nobody had to pay. And that was really what I think catapulted him into that wonderful idea. And nobody pays. It costs us $3 million a day to run St. Jude. That's because, we're not for profit and nobody pays. And nobody pays for anything, not treatment or travel or housing or food. But it's a blessing to go there and see these children come with their parents just so terrified. And often they come with a death sentence from another hospital, even good hospitals in New York and Boston and Los Angeles. And because these hospitals aren't bad, they just don't know what to do. They only have what's the known thing. And at St. Jude, we're working on what nobody knows because we're a research center. So it's really miraculous. I'm very, very proud to raise money for it and to help these parents and these children, have a second chance at life. Children should not die. They're 5 and 6 and 8 and 9 years old. They shouldn't be fighting for their lives, but they are, and so we have to help them. And because of the American people, we've been able to help them. It's the great donations that they send every day. Every day, we receive donations.
Marlo, you and your family are you're such an inspiration, and really when you think of what your father did for mentoring the number of careers and launching things, people like Andy Griffith and people like Dick Van Dyke have a lot of thanking to do for Danny Thomas and the American people have a lot of thanking to do for bringing these characters and these people into our lives and sharing so much, and that's all because of some great vision that was out there, and I'm sure I bet he said this a time or two. I bet there was a time that your dad probably said, I didn't really expect all this to happen either. I'm a comic. I'm a comedian. I'm a guy just doing this, but it all worked out. It all worked out beautifully for all of that.
He was a visionary.
Yep.
My father was a visionary. I think he did know it was going to work out. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he made it happen. There's a lot of people are dreamers, but he was a dreamer who made his dream come true, and he knew what to do. He knew how to put it together. He knew how to raise the money with Frank Sinatra and Bob Hope and all those guys. They raised the money and they put that together. So he left no debts. He really knew exactly what he was doing. He was a very smart fellow, but he was a caring man, and people flocked to him because he cared. They knew he was not a con man. He was a guy who wanted to help other people. And I always said to him, I said, Daddy, you're a good Samaritan. He said, oh, no, I'm not. He was very humble, but He was the Good Samaritan.
Yeah, it's Marlo. This is like I said, we got to let you run here because you've got other people to talk with as well. Looking forward to that podcast in March with you and Phil. Say hi to Phil for us as well. He doesn't know me from Adam, but say hi, Phil. I feel like I know him because I watched him on TV for years.
And you and Mrs. Murphy tell Mrs. Murphy to go on the Williams-Sonoma Pottery Barn website today and look at all the beautiful things from my house.
Oh, she would love all of that. That is, in fact, that's maybe too good a tip. I may be inheriting a few new things for the Murph household there. Marlo Thomas, that girl.
You're just gonna like it.
Oh, I know I am. I know I am. And thanks for spending a little time with us here.
John.
Greatest Hits 98.1 with Marlo Thomas. You bet. Take care.